Welcome to the first in a series of brand new podcasts, Be Inspired. With me, Webster. You might remember me from such shows as Webster on the radio. Yeah, that's where I am now, on Tay2 and across Scotland and other radio stations. But my first guest, let me introduce right off the bat. First guest as we get to know more about Perth and the surrounding shire. It's Will from Cullach Brewing. Welcome, Will. Here we fist each other. So there we go, a welcome fisting.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
Listen, just off the bat as well, I wanted to address a couple of things because one, I don't want you to think I'm rude. I'm wearing sunglasses. No one should wear them indoors. Everyone knows that. I know you're thinking that already. Probably you have already, Will. The thing is, I only go by one name, Webster, so I think I'm Bono. No, it's not that. My dog, my puppy, wrecked my glasses, my actual normal ones. These are prescription. I need them, and I need to see you in full HD.
No, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough, Will.
Right.
And the one name thing, I had no choice in that either. Apparently, the name, the brand, my name.
I was going to say, at what point does your name become a brand?
Yeah, so they keep saying wherever I go, you've got to call yourself Webster. You're not a Stuart anymore. You're a Webster. So I'm wondering, Will, what is your brand? What about we promote your brand throughout this chat?
Well, personally, I'm still just Will, but I own and run a small business in Perth. It's a microbrewery called Cullach Brewing.
So I think for the rest of the chat, we should call you Mr. Cullach. Therefore, we're mentioning the brand the whole time. You're no longer Will, you are now a one-name person as well. So welcome, it's Webster and Cullach.
Hi, how you doing, guys? Right, so we set up Cullach Brewing about 2.5 years ago, and since we set up, we decided to open a tap room. We've been absolutely overjoyed to see how that grows, and that's basically the business in a nutshell, microbrewery and taproom in Perth.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, it's brilliant that it's local and it's also using all the land and everything you need to make a beer, a brew is locally sourced.
Yeah.
That's what makes it incredible. But I have to say, have you heard of the game Guess Who? You know, the one where you flip down the... I think if there was a Guess Who brewery version and you had to flip over the little flippers things. You had to do a photo fit of someone that works in a brewery. Will is the perfect person to be beard, big huge muscles, tall, huge stature. You got the long hair. You know,
we're working on the hair.
It's like you fit the brewery. You should be doing this as a living. Will, did you wake up one morning and think, I know what I have to do?
Pretty much, yeah. It's funny. Before I started up a brewery, I mean, I'd been into brewing probably since I was about 17. And
in the closet, in the loft, or?
Well, yeah, I was supported by, I had a very supportive family allowing me to brew my own beer and drink at 17. And so for about 21 years or so, I said 11 years rather, I get my maths right, I did home brewing, and that was a little bit through uni. Subsequently, when I came out of uni...
Hang on, did you make a profit from the home brewing? Did you get your mates involved? I mean, guys, £1 a pint?
Plenty of people were involved in tasting it, but I couldn't say I made any money from it. But after uni, I joined the army for a little bit and decided to get back into brewing at that point when I decided to come out of the army. So I got a job briefly working in a brewery close to where we lived at the time before making the move back up to Scotland and opening Cullach.
Well, let's find out more about Cullach then. Yeah. And at this point, the producer, the director / editor of the whole Be Inspired podcast will cut to a montage of things happening at Cullach. So tell me, where is it located?
Right, so the brewery's on Princess Street in Perth. It's a very central location and right between the 2 inches.
Perfect. That's the perfect description as well for anyone from Perth looking for it, between the 2 inches. Yeah. We all know what they are. Now, you said you started doing your first brew in like 2019. Yeah. It's one of the most fun things of it is naming them. Yeah. But what the grafting part of it is doing everything else in between, with the barley and the hops and everything. So talk me through your normal day, Cullach.
Okay, so typically I'll get in and it'll be 90% paperwork and cleaning, to be honest. I wish it could be 80% brewing and a lot more exciting. Testing and tasting beer. I mean, all those things have to happen, of course. It's probably one of the best parts of the job is quality control, so to speak. But yeah, it's 90% cleaning. With brewing, you've got to just be rigorous with everything. And that's what I was doing before I came here. It's what I'll be doing when I go back again afterwards. But coming up with new designs, new beer styles, ideas of what we want to have in the tap room, whether we're going to do new pizzas or have different breweries come in and do sort of guest taps. It's quite an exciting sort of weekly rhythm that we have.
For anyone who's naive, i.e. me, the tap room is the place where you can conduct your business, sell your brews, but also put in all the extras. You got sourdough pizzas on the go.
I mean, tap room is just a fancy name for a bar.
Yeah.
We have exactly. We have about 12 draft options in our in the bar at the moment. We've recently expanded our offering. I say recently, about a year ago. So after lockdown, we decided to get in some nicer wines. We've got Scottish gins, rums, and vodkas, whiskies, of course. And where possible, we're always trying to source as close to Perth or Perthshire as we can. Typically, we can get what we need from Scotland because we've got such an amazing range of other small independent businesses here. And where we can't fill all those gaps, we'll go a little bit further afield. But
it's almost, it's like the circle of life. It's all wonderfully sourced in Perthshire, and then at the end of the day, we create something magical and Simba-like, and we hold up like a baby to the sun. But that's the beauty of beer. So there's the tap room on Princess Street as well.
Yeah, that's right. The brewery and tap room are in the same building together. Number 50 Princess Street.
Now, the names, this is the joyful part. Now, I want to know, Will Cullach, are you sitting around with the other brewery pals all comparing beards and muscles and then coming up with ideas for names? Are you spitballing? Please tell me that that's what happened, the ideas.
A little bit, yeah.
And you're all laughing at them all.
Well, the 4 beers that we've got here, rather unimaginatively, we've got Tayside IPA. I figured I'd just claim that right from the bat.
Well, people need to know it's local.
Yeah, exactly. They want to know it's a local product. It's bright, it's refreshing. We've got Reverb here. Rather unimaginatively, again, it's a brown ale. I had a cracking brown ale not too long ago called Oscillator, so Reverb kind of comes from that.
Right.
So not a direct theft of a name, but...
this one's 8.2.
Yeah. So that's Cabin Porter. That's our maple and pecan porter. It's 8.2%. It's rich. It's warming. It's a great one to crack open and share.
Have you got
on sort of darker nights?
Have you got one of those beer noses as well, where you can detect scents and
a little bit?
Yeah.
A little bit. It's something you have to work on and develop.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
And if you've been doing it from home all these years,
been trying to.
Been honing your nose.
Yeah.
And the last one we missed out on, the Sunny Side Up. This has got a special reason that's called this, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that one's our Bohemian Pilsner, and as most of you can probably see on the can there, it's named after my dog Sunny. And interestingly, it was a member of our one of our regulars that came in who thought of the name. So I thought actually that's worth taking.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sunny Side Up.
Yeah, it's great, and who doesn't love a dog? So the only reason that I agreed to do these podcasts was because I knew Will was coming in as the first guest of our Be Inspired podcast. All they said was beer, beard. We've got the beard, we've got the beer.
Would you like to try some?
Yeah, you want to show me?
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a certain method, right? Talk me through it.
So this one's our Tayside IPA.
Right, well, we'll do it at the same time. You tip the glass a certain angle. Not really.
Just any angle that doesn't make it foam up too much.
I got one of those beers machines at home, you know, with the torps, the torpedoes.
Oh yeah.
Is that something that you would branch out into eventually as well?
It's something I've toyed with the idea of getting so those 5 litre mini kegs. Maybe. Watch this space.
Well, it seems to be. Cheers.
Yeah.
So I've gone for Sunny Side Up. There's nothing better than watching someone else drink a beer.
Yeah. So that's our Sunny Side Up. Part of the malt comes from a local farm called the group of guys called the Crafty Maltsters. And they have their farm and their malting facility literally just 25 minutes away from the brewery. So it's as local as you can get, really. Yeah.
Sorry, I was enjoying it too much.
That's all right.
That is a beauty, and that's me now paid for doing this section. Right.
Well, feel free. We can crack open the others in a minute if you'd like.
Did you do research into other beer names? Because that is a funny sphere of ales and lagers. Is when people do their own brews, they come up with these great names.
Yeah, sort of obscure pop reference IPA.
So that brings us to a game that I've just created called Ale or No Ale. So I've come up, no expense spared. We don't need technology here or iPads. I have come up here. I've got on this list a group of ales that either exist or don't. I either made them up or they're real. Will, we want you to play. If you think it's a real ale, say ale. If you think it's not, say no ale.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's start with Citra ass down. Citra
I'm going to say ale.
Down. You told me you've done your research. You're going for ale.
Yeah.
Correct. It's 1 out of 1 for Will. What about Barbadian Streisand? Barbadian Streisand.
I'm going to say no ale.
It's from the Cellar Maker Brewing Company, and it does exist, and it's got a great nose. For you Streisand fans out there. You're too young to know who that is, aren't you, Will?
I know who that is. In fact, there's another brewery called Brew York who have one called Rhubarber Streisand.
That's good. All right, let's try another one. Is this ale or no ale? The Great Big Kentucky Sausage Fest.
Purely because it's ridiculous, I'm going to say ale.
You're right, correct. Tart Side of the Moon.
Ale.
Correct. Pathological Lager.
Why not ale?
Pathological Lager. Correct.
I see a pattern here.
Ryan and the Gosling.
No ale.
It is a real ale. And the last one, Geriatric Hipster Club. Geriatric Hipster Club.
We're going with ale.
Well, it is. I didn't make any of them up. I'm not that clever. The people that do the ales are the clever ones. Well done.
Right.
Thank you for playing ale or no ale.
My pleasure.
Well, part of this podcast as well as getting paid in beer and so on, is I want to make friends. I don't have many, even though I've been in Perth for like 14 years. So what do you do of a day? Where do you go in Perth? What is there to do when you're not hiking barrels everywhere and doing paperwork?
To be honest, one of my favourite things to do in Perth is just to go dog walking. I've got, as we previously mentioned, Sonny, my dog, he's just over a year old now. We've got incredible access, sort of north, east, west, to hills and beaches and everything else are all within sort of an hour, if that, travel away. So one of the best things that I do with my family is we go hiking or spend the day at the beach or anything like that, just going visiting wee towns and stuff.
That's exactly what I do. Yeah. We just got a puppy in October as well, so we're discovering more of Perth and the beauty of the area, because you just want to go somewhere different everywhere with the dog. Have you ever been to the place, I think it's along the A9 on the way out of Perth, Bluebell Woods? Oh,
is that Kinclaven?
Kinclaven, that's it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's beautiful there. Yeah. There's always a myriad of dogs. We made the mistake and called our dog Max, which is way too common. It's my boy's idea. And it means when you shout his name when you're at the park, not only do several dogs come around, but about 20 kids as well. Yeah. What? So where else would you recommend? Because I go, even along the Lade, around the River Tay. Yeah. Walking to the Inch, there's such a good walk along there. Yeah. We actually we found a spot that we went to every summer as a family with my boys when they were younger, before the dog. We called it the Skimmy, so we call it the Skimmy place, because that's when I taught the boys how to skim stones, but it was just the still part of the Tay. And that's the beauty of this area, I think. Yeah.
Well, there's lots of, one of our favourite places to go as a family is the Pine Trail. Not entirely sort of Pitlochry kind of direction, Dunkeld area. It's lovely sort of walk. It's a good way to spend a couple of hours, and you feel like you've achieved something at the end. I've got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they can just about manage with it as well. So it's a fairly accessible route for a lot of people. Yeah.
The warning for you: mine are 12 and 13, and I was not ready for the amount of pain you go through. Will.
So I heard it just gets better.
Oh, it does not. It does not. It exponentially gets worse. They don't even talk to each other anymore. They're banned. I had to come up with a rule of don't look, don't speak, don't touch. That's it. That's their rules for the last 3 years, and they don't. Yeah, just a warning for you, Will. A warning. But back to the brewery. What's next? You're going to expand. You're taking it other places.
That's a good question. The plan for this year is to sort of gradually increase our offering by a couple of beers and to push a little bit further afield. So there's a couple of bars, a couple of restaurants and a shop that we currently supply in Perth, and we want to just increase that and push our reach out a little bit more. Maybe sort of get another couple of bars, another bottle shop or food larder or something along those lines, and do a lot more markets than we've been allowed to do for the last 2 years. So that'll be a good thing.
And of course, now that the world's opening up a bit again, you'll be able to head out to festivals, to beer, music festivals, beer for everywhere, and sell your food and beer.
Yeah, well, we've done. We keep the food just for the tap room, but we've done a couple of beer festivals this year already. So, yeah.
And the great thing about the world opening up again, and at last we can get out and play, is festivals, music and otherwise are all coming back. Are you getting involved?
Well, yeah, we've got our own craft beer festival coming to Perth, the Fair City Craft Beer Fest. It's myself, the Craft Beer Bottle Shop, 2 towns down, and Greg Mason. Together we're all organising at the end of August, on the 27th, Saturday the 27th of August. We've got our very first craft beer festival coming to Perth. So that'll be at the Ice Factory. Tickets available on Eventbrite.
Great. I mean, 2 things off the bat. One, that it's on the same day as my brother's birthday, and he's a bit of a hipster as well, Will.
Get him along.
He looks like a cross between Frankie Boyle and one of the Proclaimers, and he loves real ales. Seriously. So, can my brother and I get tickets? Can we come?
Absolutely. Yeah, come along. We've got food trucks, music, 12, 13 breweries. So yeah, should be good.
Proper live bands.
Yeah, well, acoustic.
That's what it's all about, right? And if you need a host, you know I get paid in beer, so it's up to you, mate. The offer's there.
I appreciate it.
One more time, when is the festival and what date? August 27th, though.
Yeah, that's right. So the festival will be on Saturday, the 27th of August at the Ice Factory, Perth.
That'd be good, mate. Yeah. That'd be good because, I mean, it's good to see a local business doing well and expanding. And you can tell the fact you've got branding already. You've got the premises. You are a business that's going places. So, you're the man at top, Will. Are you the man?
Am I the owner? Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. From starting in your house when you were a kid to living your dream. I mean, I wish I should be Superman by now, but it's not happened. But you have. You've gone and done it.
Cheers.
Nice one, Will. Well done, mate. That's worth an hour of fisting. Will, thank you so much for coming in. Once again, it's Princes Street is the place to go.
Princes Street, Perth, yeah.
Right, Will, next time you're in the city centre, then head to Princes Street, go and see Will in the brewery. You know more about him now. Go and ask him about Sunny and places to go and walk. Thanks for coming in, Will.
Cheers, thanks very much, sir.
Good luck with those muscles.